And so today is the first part to discuss about Bhagavad Gita as it is. So in the previous class, we talked about preface and a few other things. We read it, basically an invocation prayer, all of it we read it. But especially if we look at it, some of the Bhagavad Gita commentaries, we don't find this introduction session at all. They directly go into the chapter, the first verse, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, that is how it goes. We don't find this introduction at all. But interestingly, if we look at Prabhupada's as it is, that introduction alone is of 31 pages. It's quite a big, what you call, sorry. It's a small hand-sized book. Even in fact, if you go on internet and vedabase.com and search for it, you can find a book by itself called Introduction to Bhagavad Gita. So these 31 pages as make it into a small book called Introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Why this book is so important is, or why this introduction is so important is, if we meet any non-devotees, who are interested to know about Bhagavad Gita and who don't have time and patience to read all 700 verses, this will help actually. This 31 pages, it gives the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Initially, I thought of that before I read completely. I thought of that this is just give a little bit of what it is or something. But if we read all 31 pages properly, it gives the entire gist of Bhagavad Gita, because Prabhupada has touched almost all the chapters little by little, and the important verses from them has been quoted here. So anyway, these are all available in the big book. What is the idea of giving all of that before itself? Anyone have any comments? Why this introduction by itself is kind of full? Why it was given like that? Anyone have any comments? No comments?
Is it like a preface that we discussed last time?
Preface is basically, there's only one page. We didn't learn much anything in the preface. It started off, but it hasn't given many things in. But here it has 31 pages. That means it has more content in it, isn't it? But anyway, we are going through. Yeah, someone wants to say something, please.
No, I was just saying yes.
Yeah. So the point is, why we have this much when we are already going through 700 verses reading it? Why all this being given before itself? Any idea?
Maybe this will give some interest or eagerness to continue further.
Somehow we are getting a lot of background echo noise. I think you are outside or something, in a swimming pool or something.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll mute myself.
Okay, you are outside. Yeah, somehow. Any other person? Navina Radha Mataji or Madhuradesh Prabhu?
I'm thinking this introduction that Prabhupada put together was setting the stage, so this way the reader can understand what we are going to talk about and how and we need to kind of
But
listen to.
yeah, but if you look at it here, if you look at the beginning of itself, what do we have here? The very
Right,
beginning itself.
that's the setting of the scene.
It's already there. So why special introduction?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you able to hear me now,
Yes,
Prabhu?
I can hear Nayanar Prabhu. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, Prabhuji, maybe that will this introduction will give the readers more interest and eagerness to go further. Um, I was just thinking like that.
And partially correct, but what could be the, there is no right answer, wrong answer. These are all kind of little bit, everything is right actually, as Madhuradesh Prabhu said, it's a setting. I know the setting before itself, the mood I know I have to be, and as Nayanar Prabhu mentioned it, it gives the interest to the user or something. But there is also one interesting thing I just mentioned a few minutes back. This introduction is by itself is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So if any non-devotee in our families itself, for example, our brothers, our uncles, daughters, the children's, the youngsters, especially youngsters, they don't have patience to read all 1,000 pages or 700 verses or something. But if they sit in one round of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they can finish 31 pages. So the essence can be easily understood even by them too. That means they can take benefit of Bhagavad Gita. In the first class, we discussed about Gita Mahatmya. In the Gita Mahatmya, what did we read? We read even half stanza of any Bhagavad Gita sloka can remove all the sinful things that we committed in the past, isn't it? So that being said, if a person completes the introduction, he get lot of benefit of it. So he gets the whole essence of Bhagavad Gita from this introduction itself. So once I know, so it creates some interest in me, and with that interest, I read more in depth, chapter by chapter. So this, as Nayanar Prabhu mentioned it, this gives gives some kind of understanding what I expected to see, what I expected to read, that kind of it. So let us read. This is 31 pages. You all can read little by little. This is simple English and kind of. So anyone would like to try first this prayer itself, because so far we are all reading prayers, but we know a little bit of the meaning. So let us read the translations too. Priya Mataji read anyway these verses, and I would ask Priya Mataji to read the translation. Priya Mataji, would you like to do it?
Yeah, Prabhuji. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectable obeisance unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under this lotus feet? I offer my respectable obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the fear of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectable obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunatha Dasa and Raghunatha Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectable obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda along with Advaita Acharya Gadadara, Srivasa and other associates. I offer my respectable obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishaka. O my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectable obeisances unto you. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Rishabhanu and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. I offer my respectable obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasa, and all others in the line of devotion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So we read every day these prayers. I don't know how many of us we really know the meaning of it. Sometimes the understanding or the meaning makes a lot of difference, actually. Lot of difference. So many times we sing songs, prayers, but most of the time we don't know the meaning. But when we know the meaning, we can feel it. We can feel it. The presence of these devotees, the presence of Krishna, we can feel it when we know the meaning of it. So as much as possible, at least we should know what it is talking about. So here, before we read anything, not only here, anywhere, anytime, before we read anything, just to pray the Guru and Krishna, at least Guru and Krishna, whatever the way you feel like it to pray. Just because with their mercy only, we are able to read this one. That is why Prabhupada has put these prayers in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So if we read from the top to the bottom, first he said, Guru is the one who is giving the knowledge, and by that knowledge, our darkness, ignorance will be removed. That is a straight statement, isn't it? Right statement. Even in the material world also from the beginning, that is what it is. We are all going to school as a kindergarten, first grade, second grade, all. Why we are going to school? We are going to school to learn something. And who taught us? The Guru taught us, teaches us. So the Guru teaches us from the schools. So the Guru is the one who removes our ignorance. So it is my first, my respects to him, the very first of it. Now many different verses will come, but any simple thing is fine. Any simple thing is fine. I just bow down to the Guru. And then next what? Then who is this Guru? Who is this Guru? So the Guru who introduced this one in this Sampradaya is basically Srila Rupa Goswami. By the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Rupa Goswami has started or, given this one to all the people. All the people. He wrote many scriptures, many things, and he established such a nice movement for this whole thing. Krishna movement, he started off it. So we are praying obeisances to him. And who else we are praying to? We are praying to all the Shat Goswamis. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Gopala Bhatta Goswami, and Jiva Goswami. These are the Shat Goswamis, and we are praying to them because of them only we are where we are now. And then we are also remembering who else? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, and Srivasa and other associates. And then once the Guru Parampara is done, this is all Guru Parampara. Once the Guru Parampara is done, whom we are praying to? We are praying to Krishna. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. So he is the mercy of ocean, or ocean of mercy. He is the ocean of mercy. And we are praying him, or we are glorifying him. What are all he is? These are all attributes, isn't it? Gopesha, Gopika, Kanta. Attributes. He is the protector of gopis. He is the protector of cows. He is kind of lover of Radharani. So these are all, Krishna, what he does and kind of. So we are praying him. And then who else we are praying? So the most beloved of Krishna is Radharani. So once we finish Krishna and along with Radharani. This is also very important. I think this point we discussed earlier also. If I want money, wealth, name and fame in my home, I shouldn't just alone worship Lakshmi. I must worship Narayana. Because where Narayana stays, Lakshmi stays. Where Narayana don't stay, Lakshmi won't stay. Temporarily, it may, Lakshmi may come, but she won't stay longer. If we want, Narayana must be there. The vice versa is also true. Alone Narayana, he won't stay forever too. He wants Lakshmi too. So they both come in pairs. Sita Rama, Shiva Parvati, Radha Krishna, Rukmini Dwarakadish, they're all come in pairs. They don't come one alone. So we should pray both of them anytime. And then finally, the devotees. The devotees association is the only thing that saves us, isn't it? This is very, very essential. Very, very essential. Even in the material world also, we give a lot of importance to our friendship, isn't it? There are cases, family friends become more than relatives. Family friends become more than relatives. Their love, affection, everything, forever kind of things. We can see people who are been friends like for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, isn't it? So they will save us. That is exactly here. The Vaishnavas, with their mercy, they can save us. So these are the prayers. So we must start with a prayer before we do anything. Before we do anything. Not only this one, even our general tasks also. Say, suppose I am leaving my home. Just recite a small prayer. If we don't remember any prayer, just simply say Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is a simple one, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Even that simple mantra, 16 syllable mantra is more than enough to protect us. So, anytime and every time, always remember at least one verse to start off with. Now, let us start with Bhagavad Gita and what this introduction chapter is. One more person can read, especially if any new Matajis, if you can capable of reading it from the, if you are on the computer or something, if you can see the screen, any of, anyone would like to try? New people? Yes. Someone wants to say something?
Yeah, if somebody's not reading, then I'll read it.
Anyone would like to try? Monica Mataji or, who else is there? Kirti Mataji. Anyone? Or Sandeep? I think Mataji, I think you have a lot of noise. That's fine, Mataji. Yes, Navina Radha Mataji. Go ahead and start, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. It is essence of Vedic knowledge and one of the most important Upanishads in the Vedic literature. Of course, there are many commentaries in English on the Bhagavad Gita, and one may question the necessity for another one. This present edition can be explained in the following way. Recently, an American lady asked me to recommend an English translation of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, in America, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita available in English. But as far as I have seen, not only in America, but also in India, none of them can be strictly said to be authoritative because in almost every one of them, the commentators has expressed his own opinion without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita itself. It is just like this: if we want to take a particular medicine, then we want to follow the directions written on the label. We cannot take the medicine according to our own whim or a direction of a friend. It must be taken according to the direction on the label or the direction given by the physician. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita should be taken or accepted as it is directed by the speaker himself. The speaker of Bhagavad Gita is Lord Shri Krishna. He is mentioned on every page of Bhagavad Gita as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Bhagwan. Of course, the word Bhagwan sometimes refers to any powerful person or any powerful demigod, or certainly here Bhagwan designates Lord Shri Krishna as a great personality. But at the same time, we should know that the Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as it's confirmed by all great acharyas, spiritual masters like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nivarka, Swami, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many other authorities of Vedic knowledge in India. The Lord himself also establishes himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Bhagavad Gita, and he is accepted as such in the Brahma Samhita. And all the Puranas, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Bhagavata Purana, Krishna to Bhagwan Swam. Therefore, we should take Bhagavad Gita as it is directed by the personality of Godhead himself. In the 4th chapter of Gita, 4.1 to 3, the Lord says, Prabhuji, should I read
Yeah, go
next
ahead.
or
Go ahead and read these 3 verses, Mataji.
I'll try, Prabhuji. I'll just read. Imam vivavasate yogam prokta van aham avyam vivaswan manve praha manur ikshvakve avrit. Evam parampara praptam imam rajasya sayo vidhu sa kalenah mahata yogo nastaha parantapa. Sa evyam mayate dya yoga proktaha puran puratanaha bhakto si me sakha cheti raha shyam he etad utmam. Prabhuji, I don't know the tune was.
No, that's fine, Mataji. You can read this paragraph. This is the
Here the
meaning
Lord
of it.
informs Arjuna that this system of yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, first spoken to the sun god, and the sun god explained it to Manu, and Manu explained it to Ikshvaku. And in this way, by disciplic succession, one speaker after another, this yoga system has been coming down, but in the course of time, it has become lost. Consequently, the Lord has to speak it again, this time to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So, the very introduction here itself clearly mentioned why this particular book is so special about it. This book is especially titled as It Is. As It Is. That means Prabhupada didn't express his ideas and his thoughts about Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada has directly translated what Krishna is speaking. Lot of times this is what we do, isn't it? When we hear something, when it comes to tell to the other person, we add our version of the same to the other person, isn't it?
Yes.
So if the same thing reaches 4 people one after another like that, the original version completely disappears, isn't it? Because everyone adds little by little, little by little. At the end, after reaching fifth person, the first person whatever they spoke is completely distorted, adulterated. That is how Bhagavad Gita is happening. Especially Bhagavad Gita, there are nearly 816 versions of commentaries are there. But why did we require 816? That means everyone felt that something to be added, something needs to be given, something, his own perspective they wants to give it. But how many of these are really authoritative? Something good comes out of it. Who will tell? A section of people can say this book is pretty good. Say, suppose I follow, let us say, Chenmayananda Swami. Okay, I just used the name, or Chenmayananda Swami. They wrote a Bhagavad Gita commentary too. The Bhagavad Gita commentary they wrote is completely impersonal. There is no physical person as Krishna. If you read that entire book, you don't find Krishna anywhere at all as a person. Krishna as an abstract. Say, suppose if there are people who practices Chinmayananda style, art of living or something, whatever it is, then what happened? They all say that this is the best book they ever come across. So what is the authority? Who can tell us? Who can tell us? So that is why some scholars of this world must authenticate it based on certain standards. So if we look at it, the very first page of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, you can find so many accreditations for this book. That means so many people went through this book and scrutinized and made their comments on this book. So if we look at it today, Bhagavad Gita, if not the first one, maybe it will be the second book or something, the largest number of books distributed in the world today. Probably the first book too. I think I heard like few years back, like 5 years back, Bible is the first book and Bhagavad Gita is second book. But afterwards, some devotee mentioned, Prabhu, that is long back. This has been already been distributed more than billion books. And I heard recently one of the Prabhuji in his class is mentioning when in December book marathon comes itself, he is from Delhi temple. He mentioned that in that 1 month itself they sold 18 lakhs. 18 lakhs. So how difficult it is. 1 month itself they sold 18 lakh books. We have been practicing more than, or these books is there more than 50 years now. How many books have been distributed throughout the world? More than 1 billion now. And especially this Bhagavad Gita as it is available in 66 languages. So it is not a small kind of, it is being distributed everywhere. Now, especially here, the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. So what it is mean by spirit? The essence. We often says, what is the plot of this book? What is the plot of this movie? We say, what is the essence, like kind of, what is this, where it is, kind of. It has to be, make the reader to feel alive. If we read some books, after reading few pages, you don't feel like reading at all. That means either it is dry or it is not properly constituted, or it's not, things are not properly. But here It is not like that. This is very nicely structured book. Very nicely structured. When we say structured, that means, let me ask everyone, or someone can answer this. What does it mean by a structure? What is a structure actually? Anyone have a comment? What is a structure? What
A
is
logical flow of something is like, you know, if you put something haphazard, then it's not a structure, it's something. But when the things are placed in some meaningful way,
yes, yes,
that's structured.
yes. So in a simple sense, our homes are structured or unstructured.
They better be structured.
Yes, it is structured. That is why we call it as structure. What is mean to structure? Structure is nothing but construct them to stay safe, permanent, long. So that means our home, first they build foundation. They build foundation. On top of the foundation, they build framework. After the framework, then other things will come. Drywalls, roofing, all these things will come. That means without foundation, they don't build the entire house and then bring it here and put it on the structure or put it on the foundation. They don't do it. They do things properly for a safe, nice, correct way. This is structured. So Bhagavad Gita is also a structured. Structured means what is first, what is next, what comes later. That means just like our school education. First I go to kindergarten, learn alphabets and numbers. Then I go to first grade. I add letters to make words. I add numbers to make bigger numbers. And then I go to the second grade. I start reading sentences, as doing some additions and subtractions, etc. Then I go to the next grade. Like that, I'm progressing systematically. So Bhagavad Gita is also very systematically explained. If we look at the structure of Bhagavad Gita, very nicely arranged it. So it is easy to follow, easy to understand. No one gets bored. No one gets bored. So it is easy. That is what it is structured. So especially Bhagavad Gita is structured. And here, who said it is structured? Who said it is structured? Not I didn't say it is structured. Great people said it is structured. Isn't it? We go and see some building from outside standing there. We say this building looks very good. All I know is very simple thing. By looking at it, by the color combination, by everything, I said, yes, this building looks good. But a real civil engineer can know, oh, this building is very balanced, they constructed very balanced way. That means it has 50 floors above. That means how much foundation it must be. So the foundation, all the details will known to the civil engineer, not to me. All I see the aesthetic sense outside. I don't know. I am not the authority. The authority is a civil architect. He knows exactly. So such architects are Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbhark Swami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like this Baladev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. All these great people, great personalities are accepted. Bhagavad Gita is the way to go. Is the way to go. That is why Prabhupada often comments that the study of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam for life, not for one time I studied end to end, cover page to cover page, and I'm done with it. No. This is for the life study. That means every single time you study, you learn something new. I personally experienced it. Probably I read Bhagavad Gita at least, a dozen times. So every single time it is a new experience to me. Every single time I speak about it is a new experience, something revealed to me. That means the words are speaking. I'm not assuming, I'm not imagining things. The words are speaking. The words are giving their meaning different way every single time. Every single time. So this is very, very revealing one. Everyone can experience this one. Everyone can experience this. When I first started reading Bhagavad Gita, seriously or something, 1998. When I first came to America, I have some time. I'm on guest house on bench, no work, nothing at all. I have a Bhagavad Gita book with me, and I don't have good friends also either. I'm living in an apartment with a couple of guys. They don't speak much. We are of different languages, all that, and nothing much to speak. So I start reading. Guess what? I just bought that book as just out of whim. I don't know anything about. I don't know about Prabhupada. I don't know anything about it. I just bought it in. But I couldn't read more than first verse. I tried. I tried my best to read, but I couldn't go more than one page. Then I kept that book for almost about 7 years. Almost about 5 years, at least 5-6 years. I haven't touched that book. But afterwards, when I start reading it, I start understanding, I start enjoying it. So it is very, very, conducive. So have the book at home is always beneficial to you. Always beneficial to you. Here, especially, he started off very nice, wonderful memorization verse. These 3 verses are an excellent verse. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manurikshvakave bravit evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa Sayevayam mayatedhya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosi me sakacheti rahasya taduttamam. So what is Krishna is telling? I spoke to Agnidev. Agnidev is, his name is Vivaswan. I spoke to Vivaswan, the Agnideva, the very beginning of this creation. And then he speak to who? Manu. He speak to Manu. And Manu spoke to Ikshvaka. Who is Ikshvaka? The forefathers of Lord Ramachandra. That means it came all the way to Lord Ramachandra, to his sons, further. But what happens? It comes in a disciplic succession, and Sakale Neha Mahata, over a period of time, it disappeared. Over a period of time, it disappeared. The best example is our generations to the previous generations to the previous generations, like that. How much we lost, I don't know. I myself know, especially first-handed this information. The reason is I grew up in a village side, and you all know that we don't have any doctors or anyone. So we all use natural medicines, herbal medicines, all of it, Go outside in the backyard or something, get some leaf or something, rub it and put it and use it and something like that. They all work. They all work. I don't know what is the medicine we are using it for cold, but we use it, very simple. There is I don't know, in English, what do they call jilledu? Some kind of the leaf, it has some kind of juice in it. You just put it on fire little bit, and then squeeze it. A juice will come, and put it 1 or 2 drops in nose, nose. It will work as a what you call Nawaz or something, like, it will remove all the mucus from the nose. Just two simple drops. It works 100%. It works. So what happened? We lost all those normal medicines, homemade natural medicines. They disappeared. For now, every single thing we depend on modern medicine, isn't it? Headache, modern medicine. Cold, modern medicine. Some sort of feeling not well, fever, modern medicine. Every single thing modern medicine. The problem with the modern medicine is it will cure, but it has tons of side effects. Tons of side effects. That's the problem. So here, this knowledge has been disappeared. Now what happened? The Lord has to speak again. So whom he spoke? So I spoke to you. He is talking to Arjuna. I spoke to you because you are my friend and devotee. Bhaktosi me saka cheti. See, saka. Saka means friend. Bhakta, devotee. So Arjuna is, Arjuna is a devotee as well as a friend to Krishna. We must be like that. We must be like that. We should never envy of Krishna. The Lord is our well-wisher. Lord is our Father. So we should have a friendly relationship with our Father, not business relationship. No business relationship. Friendly relationship. We love our Father for the sake of love. That's all it is. There is nothing much. Oh, because my Father is going to give me a lot of inheritance. So for that reason, I have to love him. Or if my father is a very poor, I haven't get anything much him, then I ignore him. No, no. We must love him for the sake of it. That is what it is. So that is the qualification. So qualification. So to hear Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, we require a qualification. What is the qualification? That qualification is nothing but bhakta, devotion. So what is this? So we are all on this call today. Are we qualified to hear Bhagavad Gita? Are we qualified to hear Bhagavad Gita? I'm asking everyone. Yes or no? Are we qualified to hear Bhagavad Gita? No answer? I think, sorry Mataji, I think you have a lot of background noise, Mataji. No comment from anyone at all? Are we qualified to hear Bhagavad Gita? Do we have the qualification?
I think no,
Why don't we have qualification?
because we are not a few devotees. Guru gave the qualification. Guru made.
Yeah. So the first qualification is show interest. Show interest. What is bhakti? What is bhakti? Bhakti is nothing but show interest to do something voluntarily. That is bhakti. Where it starts, very simple example. We are all qualified. Don't worry. We are all qualified. How do we are all qualified? You took your daily busy schedule, an hour time, and came on to this call and listening to this call. That shows interest. That shows faith on this subject. I get something from it. I learn something from it. This is Krishna spoken. I must attend this call. That itself made you to qualify. That means whoever is shown interest to listen about Krishna, they are qualified. They are qualified. That is why Bhagavatam is telling Shrunvatam Swakatha Krishna. Punya Shravana Kirtana. Whoever is interested to learn, whoever is interested to hear about Krishna Katha, then what happens? The minute we show the interest, what happens? Then the Lord who is sitting inside, then he start helping us. Hrudyantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti suhrat satam. The Lord who is sitting inside us as Paramatma, helping us. Oh, this guy came. Oh, they are little bit interested. Let's keep up the interest. Let's make it more. So this interest, first step we make it, the remaining Krishna help us to walk. So everything has to start somewhere. Everything has. That first step is most important. The first step is most important. If we take that first step, Krishna will help. That first step is nothing but faith on these topics. Adho Shraddha. Little interest. This topic is good. Something good come out of it. Let me attend it. Let me take 1 hour from my daily routine. Isn't it? How much time we waste every day, watching the TVs, getting onto the internet, going to the malls, buying something, groceries, this and that. Can't we spare an hour? That is interest. That is interest. We can show so much interest for the mundane things. If we show 1 hour interest on our bhakti, then the life completely changes. Life completely changes. This is what is called life-turning experience, isn't it? A lot of people say that life-turning experience. At least on this call, some of the devotees are there who change their lifestyles completely. I am one of them too. I changed my lifestyle completely. There are many, many examples, many, many people on this call, who completely changed their lifestyles. So definitely Krishna will help us. And Krishna will help to make good, not just like that, to make good. So that is about starting here, especially here. So we have few more minutes and let's see if we can. Okay, let's read this next paragraph here. Anyone would like to read this? Anyone would like to read? One more person?
I can read.
Yes, Prabhu. Madhuradesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
He tells Arjun that he is relating this supreme secret to him because Arjun is his devotee and his friend. The purport of this is that Bhagavad Gita is a treatise which is especially meant for the devotee of the Lord. There are 3 classes of transcendentalists, namely the Jnani, the Yogi, and the Bhakta, or the impersonalist, the meditator, and the devotee. Here the Lord clearly tells Arjun that he is making him the first receiver of this parampara, disciplic succession, because the old succession was broken. It was the Lord's wish, therefore, to establish another parampara in the same line, thought that was coming down from the sun god to others. And it was his wish that his teaching be distributed anew by Arjuna. He wanted Arjuna to become the authority in understanding the Bhagavad Gita. So we see that Bhagavad Gita is instructed to Arjun especially because Arjun was a devotee of the Lord, a direct student of Krishna, and his intimate friend. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is best understood by a person who has qualities similar to Arjun's. That is to say, he must be a devotee in a direct relationship with the Lord, As soon as one becomes a devotee of the Lord, he also has a direct relationship with the Lord. That is very elaborate subject matter, but briefly it can be stated that devotee is in a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in one of the 5 ways. One way be the devotee in a passive state, one may be devotee in an active state, one may be devotee as a friend, one may be devotee as parent, one may be devotee as a conjugal lover.
Yeah,
Arjun,
yeah. Go ahead and finish this one, bro.
okay. Arjuna was in relationship with the Lord as a friend. Of course, there is a gulf of difference between his friendship and a friendship found in the material world. This is transcendental friendship, which cannot be had by everyone. Of course, everyone has a particular relationship with the Lord, and that relationship is evoked by the perfection of devotional service. But in the present status of our life, not only have we forgotten the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord. Every living being out of many, many billions and trillions of living beings has a particular relationship with the Lord eternally. That is called Swarupa. By the process of devotional service, one can receive that Swarupa, revive that Swarupa, and that stage is called Swarup Siddhi, perfection of one's constitutional position. So Arjun was a devotee and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in friendship.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So, in brief, as we discussed here, every single living entity must have a relationship with Krishna. Without relationship, we don't even exist. Even in the material world, also, we can experience this one. Is there anyone in the world comes alone? Lot of times we hear this one. I am an orphan. No, you are an orphan because your parents were not there. But you do have parents before. They may passed away, they may died or something. But you do have parents. They may not there with you, but you do have parents. Once you have parents, then what happened? The parents have the siblings. Those siblings means you have uncles and aunts and other things. You yourself may have siblings. Because you are living in a society, you definitely won't be alone. You have at least one friend, two friends, three friends, four friends, or at least you are surrounded by the animals, dogs, domestic things. That means we never ever be alone at all. We always have a relationship. This is called Sambandha Jnana. Sambandha Jnana. First, we should understand that I am not alone. I have some relationship. Someone is there for me. Someone is there for me. This feeling must come. This feeling must come. Lot of times we don't have this. We forget it, isn't it? In the material world, especially, you know what is the most the biggest challenge and the biggest problem in the world today, other than committing crimes, though, because the self-inflicted, the depression. The depression is the one. Stressed out, anxiety, depression, all these things are one and the same. Why? We are all thinking that I am alone. There is no one for me in the world. There is nothing to do for me. I don't have any value. Nobody is looking after me. This is our idea. No, that is completely wrong. Completely wrong. We always have some relationship. Who said we don't have relationship? But we are not looking into it. We are not looking into it. That's the problem. So we always have this, this sambandha. So we should know this sambandha. We should know this sambandha. So here especially he is talking about there are 5 ways we can have relationship. One can be in a neutral state. One can be having a relationship of master and servant. One can be having a relationship on equal basis. One can be a relationship of parents and children. And one can have a relationship of lover and loved. This is the 5 ways where we can have it. In depth, we can detail, we can discuss further more and more. And especially here, because Arjuna is a friend, Krishna has given this information. And here especially he is talking about Swarupa Siddhi. Swarupa Siddhi. We have a constitutional position. See, today I am in this body. My name is Srinivas. I was born in India, and so are my parents. I have the so education. This is all Upadhi, my designation. But once I finish off this body, then what happened? Next life, I may born as a camel, I may born as a dog, I may born as a tree, I may born as an aquatic animal, something. Then what happened? Now I am no more Srinivas or no more Subalasaka. I am something else. But my soul that is moved from this body to other body is the same. This is called Swarupa. The soul, Atma, so many names we can use it. It is called Swarupa. So we should know who we are. We should know who we are. That is why Shastra says, Jivera Swarupahaya Krishnera Nityadasa. Krishnera Tatastha Shakti Bheda Bheda Prakasha. So it is saying that we are constitutionally servants of Krishna. Servant doesn't mean that we always think that, oh, servant means, master and service, and I always, ill-treat, mistreat. No, it's not like that. Krishna loves his servants so much. He loves them so dearly loves. So we can have that relationship. So we are always in that relationship. We never be the master. Krishna is the master. I'm always his servant. I'm his energy. Knowing this is called Swarupa Jnana, or Sambandha Jnana. This is called Sambandha Jnana. So we will discuss few more in the next class. I will stop it here and see if we have any comments or questions and so far. And so